Hey guys, welcome to a new Love Life video. This time we're going to talk about Bunnie Rabbot or Bunnie Rabbot de Coolette, as she's known in the comics, basically towards the middle and end of it. But yeah, we're going to talk about Bunnie's love life, and Bunnie's, funny enough, isn't as big as Sonic's, Tails, or even Sally's for that matter, because of the fact that hers is very short, and any others that I talk about will be very similar in that manner. Due to the fact that, well, basically there's not really much to go on, if you will, when it comes to it. But yeah, Bunnie's is it's interesting. I'll give you that. She does have some love interest. She had only a few, primarily one that she stuck with, like towards the end and all that. So, like I said, hers is not that complicated, because she's had multiple love interests. There's no doubt about that. But her love interests, like I said, are very few and in between. Like some others I may or may not talk about in the future, she's had certain love interests and all that. That basically, as I said earlier, as I said moments ago, I should say, make her list a lot shorter, I should say, than Sally's or Sonic's and Tails, believe it or not. But who are her love interests? Who are the ones that began, something with her and, succeeded in keeping it? Well, let's talk about that. So the first one up to bat is, of course, the one she's currently with, or was currently with in the story as far as Archie Comics goes, and that's Antione de Coolette. Now, in the Santiam cartoon, it was never really indicated that there was something between them. True, she would tease him a little bit in the first season and somewhat in the second season, but that was about it. It was more of a flirtatious tease, but not so much. Not so much of a flirtatious tease as, it's just, like I said, just being a tease, if you will, towards him because of the way he was portrayed. And this would continue into the comics at times, which, again, was an on and off deal. But it wouldn't be until about issue 46, I believe, 46, 45, where basically Bunnie confessed her love to Antoine. She did. Basically what happened is Antoine stood up for Sonic against Jeffrey, because Jeffrey was accusing him of being the mole, the traitor, that was basically giving Robotnik a lot of information, getting him ahead of the freedom fighters. And Antoine, stood up for him, and that was enough for Bunnie to finally just make up her mind and acknowledge to Antoine that not only was she one of the people that found him to be very brave, but that she very much and deeply cared about him. So she basically confirmed this by kissing him on the cheek. That's what on the cheek and all that, in a very loving way, basically confirming officially them being an item now, them being a couple. And it would be a relationship that would go on for quite some time. I mean, this ran from basically issue 46 all the way up to, believe it or not, issue 130, 131. Yeah, almost 85 issues for a straight run. But then something happened. You see, what happened is apparently Antoine had changed in story. He had gotten a scar under his eye during a battle, and it had changed him. changed him to the point that he became more darker, more grittier, and wanted to focus more on fighting and stuff, and eventually broke things off with Bunnie. And the way this is revealed is when Sonic, asked, what's going on with Bunnie and Antoine. They should be happy to be together. And then that's when Fiona, who was on their side at that time, had to tell him they broke up, that they ended the relationship. However, we would find out about, I would say, 2 years later, 24 issues later, basically, just about that, 24 to 25, that basically the reason for the breakup wasn't because, Antoine got a scar and it made him more grittier and darker than what he was. It was mainly because of the fact that that wasn't the real Antoine, and it was a fake. It was his evil counterpart from the anti-freedom fighters, from the anti-Mobius, or Moebius, as they would call it, Moebius, known as Patch, or aka Evil Antoine. And this is revealed when, Sonic discovers a hypodermic needle hidden in the sleeve of Evil Antoine's uniform. And then basically by noticing that and kind of, realizing, why everything seemed to be a little awkward, and even mentioning like why even Bunnie couldn't, tell or find, kind of find out how he got the scar and all that. Sonic basically reveals to the public, to the world, and to even the characters, in the throne room, if you will, at the royal cathedral, the royal cathedral, if you will, the church where the wedding was taking place, the reception, if you will, the royal hall, I would guess. Basically, it's here where Sonic basically blurts it out that, it all makes sense now. Why Bunnie couldn't figure out, why Antoine got the scar, why this was going on, why that was happening, why he had a change in attitude. And it basically was the fact that he wasn't the real Antoine. And by revealing this, he was able to use a device that he had gotten from a Zone Cop, the Zonic Zone Cop, I believe, to take the evil version of Antoine back to Moebius and retrieve the real Antoine and bring him back. And what happened is Sonic went to Bunnie, asked her if she had time for a friend. Bunnie was like, okay, fine, but, after what happened and everything, with you causing a ruckus in the Royal Hall, hopefully it's not something, outlandish. And Sonic's like, oh, no, it's not outlandish. And he points out, and he reveals to her, well, not points out, but reveals to her that what he wants to show her is the real Antoine has come back. He's brought home the real Antoine. And she immediately not only smiled and everything, but they immediately embraced and kissed each other, as if, the love they had was never really lost. It was just basically temporarily put on hold, thanks to evil Antoine being in Antoine's place. And, that was about it. And from there, it led to Antoine eventually proposing to Bunnie to be his wife in I think, 173, I believe, 173. And, they wed in 174, an issue later. So, yeah, it's one of those, the love she had for Antoine, lasted all the way from basically from issue 46 to essentially 174, about 128 issues before they tied the knot. 128 issues. And it even survived the soft retcon reboot, because what happened is, of course, as I've mentioned before, when I talked about Sally's love life with Nicole being the Deus Ex Machina, basically the one that restored everybody's memories of the previous world, that basically Antoine and Bunnie's memories were restored. Because Antoine, when he had his restored, and Bunnie was brought back to them because Bunnie was undercover. Antoine was all happy to see her and worried, and Bunnie's like, whoa, what is this about? And he basically says, take Nicole and everything should be explained. And Bunnie takes Nicole, gets her memories back, and at the same time she gets her wedding ring back. Because apparently during the reboot, her wedding ring disappeared. But getting her memories back restored not only the fact that she was married to Antoine and in love with him, but also restored her wedding ring. So yeah, their relationship, believe it or not, if you count the soft retcon reboot, has lasted for over 241, I would say essentially 241 issues. If you want to count the total run combined wise, you're looking at 245 issues in total with that relationship, even with the ups and downs that it had. And that's pretty cool to see. It's pretty cool to find out. Like I said, that's a pretty cool stat to know and find out and everything. But yeah, it was one of the longer lasting ones with a few ups and downs. I mean, I know people may not count, the 24, 26 issues that's resulting in maybe 220 something issues instead, but overall, ups and downs and all that in between, it was a very intriguing story, a love story, if you will, one that is considered one of the longer lasting ones out there. And, Antoine has always been her primary love. But he's not the only one. He's not the only one. In fact, there was some that, Bunnie's had a relationship with, but it was very, very brief. And it was because of the temporary breakup, thanks to Patch impersonating Antoine, that we got a glimpse into what would be, or what could have been.